Hey guys, welcome back. This is where we're at, and I have a few ideas, so I've put some stuff out. I'm going to try to make a desk from this. I honestly don't know what it came from. All it says is DIY desk cover on one side, but it's blank on the other. I want this to be the desk, which she looks like she's in timeout, but she was here so I could test out the size. And I knocked over another doll. Alright, when I test out the size, this is going to be the desk that I'm going to put my sort of supercomputer onto. I also went ahead and cut out 4 legs. These are just regular wooden round dowels. They're not even, but I'm hoping that with a little bit of glue on the top, I can make that work, just because I didn't want to have to go use my husband's sander today. A little hot outside. I did find something else. I finally remembered where I placed the big crystal that the kids had grown that my daughter had taken apart and put some into a jar with a piece of it here. So I went ahead and put that on the shelf. I found this. It's a little dusty. This was an essential oil herb that somebody put together for me for pain. Did not work at all. The types of oil she used, it just wasn't working for me. So I didn't know what else to do with it. It kind of sat there. I would try to use it every once in a while and then finally gave up on it. But it looks kind of like a formaldehyde chemical. So it's going to go right there. Another thing I had gotten from that lady was lavender bits. So I'm going to put some of this into one of my little jars that I have. I think I might even use one of these jars that I had. This one is supposed to be a charm, but I think it would work better if it just holds something in it. So I was thinking I might do this one, or maybe even this green one, and put the lavender inside of it and then have it on the shelf. I think I like the green one better. So there is that. We're gonna do that. And then I've had this sent to me, and I asked my daughter if she wanted it, but it doesn't want to stay upright. It has a rounded edge. So what I'm going to try to do using hot glue is make it stay upright. I'm going to put a little glue on my silicone mat, press it down, see if I can make it stay, and then this plant will then go on one of the shelves. So there's that. What else did I have? Oh, I need to glue this piece of a rock. Sort of looks like amethyst. I'm going to put that on the shelf on the wall over there. I pulled out a popsicle stick. I'm going to somehow create stands that these are going to sit on so they can be on the supercomputer desk that I have. But I think I'm going to use popsicle sticks to do that. Or crafting sticks is also what they're called. So, with that, let's get started. Alright, first things first, I want these to be a sort of brown. So I have a little bit of paint, and I am just going to paint over them. I don't want them to be dark enough to look, I guess, just like painted wood. Instead, if I go over it with a very thin light coat, it kind of gives it a wood grain look. And so that's what I'm going to do. I don't typically use stain. It just isn't something I usually have on hand, but brown paint is, so I kind of make it messy, and then it comes off giving it that wood look, which is enough for me because I don't really care. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm gonna do something like that, and then that way it will look kind of like wood for the legs. So I'm going to continue this, and I will be back when I have all 4 done. Okay, so it looks dry. we're going to flip it over, and I'm just going to lay it down. And then I'm going to take my painted sticks, dowels, and I'm going to put glue on the tips. And then I'm just going to put them in the corner, each one to each corner. And then let them dry. Okay, so I have done that with all 4. Now I have a table. It is not very strong. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Let's try something else. So whatever this thing is, which has a smoothness to it, I don't know what it is. I had hot glued it, and as you can see, it just fell apart and the glue just peels right off. So back to the drawing board as far as the desk goes. I will hang on to the sticks because that is the height that I want it to be at, but it looks like I'm going to have to find something else to be the tabletop. So yeah, okay. We'll figure this out. Hey guys, welcome back. So I have a few things started. I cut up came from a frame. It's one of those really hard, I guess you'd say paperboard. I really don't know. But it came from the lining of a frame, or the edge of a frame. I don't know what you call it. It goes inside, that kind of lines the picture. And I cut a piece, and I want to make this the shelf. It has, I'm going to put it this way, it has this sort of slanted lip, but I think that works because it reminds me of how shelves typically are. So I went ahead and did that. I painted it because it was just white, and I kind of wanted it to have a little bit of a wood grain look. So I took some brown and then just kind of went over it in a messy way, and I think it works. I think that'll do it. I have these 2 pieces. These came from a miniature Jenga set from the Dollar Tree. And what I want to do first is glue them probably like this, or maybe, yeah, like that, underneath to kind of make it look like the shelf has a support on the wall. And then before I put it on the wall, I'm going to get a level just to make sure that I put it straight, because I am really bad about putting things straight. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue these, and then I'll set it aside so it can dry. And then I'll show you the other pieces that I also worked on. So let's begin. We're going to make sure that this part that's slanted, I want that one to stay so where when I put it up there, it slants like that. So I'm going to take, yeah, I want it to go like that. And we're just going to glue it like that. And yeah, you can kind of see the glue, but I'm hoping that when it's on the wall, you won't really notice the glue as much. I might go back and try to smooth it down or paint it. I might paint it. Alright, then the next one, I want to go like this. And I tried to get them as even as I could, but when I hang it on the wall, it'll look like that. Okay, that's going to be the shelf that I will eventually put up there. Right now, I wanted to show you the other thing I was working on. So, these Stark computer screens that I showed y'all before, I want to have them on stands that are going to go on this desk. I went ahead and took that thing I showed you before. I kind of gave it a swiping with some acrylic paint, and it's still kind of drying, so I'm not going to do anything just yet, but it gave it a sort of wood look, at least to me. And then I have finished the sticks that are going to make the legs. But for now I'm just going to set that there because it's still kind of drying. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick or glue these like this to make it like computer screens. I think I might go kind of like that. So hopefully this will stick well enough to my laminated pieces. We're about to find out. Okay, so definitely hot, but it should stand up like that. We'll just let that dry and hopefully they'll actually stay onto it. Alright, here's the next one. I'm trying to do a thinner layer this time. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Okay, so far so good. Let me finish these up real quick. And then the last one goes upward like that. Okay, and then that one like that. Alright, so now that I've finished that, let's see. Yeah, that looks dry enough. Alright, now my idea with this is that on top of the desk I kind of want the 4 of them. I don't think I thought that through very well. It's not going to quite fit. Alright, let me revisit. Okay guys, I'm back. And it took me a little while to figure out what I'm going to do, especially about her desk. I decided I didn't like the way the desk was going to be anyways because I couldn't fit all of the computer screens on that little patch. So instead I cut it and then I put it on here. I glued it onto this thick cardboard or cardstock paperboard. And I'm going to cut it along here. I'm going to paint up the edges, try to clean it up as much as I can. That way her desk has a bigger surface for me to put her computer screens onto. Alright, and I'm back. I went ahead and cut it off of the cardboard as much as I can. I think I'm going to try to trim up this just to give it a cleaner, more organized edge. I might have to glue it a little bit more, but we'll see. This is going to be the desk. And I'm going to now, hopefully, be able to glue them to these little twig sticks, dowels. Let's see how long I can keep showing you guys these things before another kid comes in. That's been my day today. I decided I wanted to make a planter that's going to go on the wall above the desk. And so this is just an old capsule from the Mini Brands, or capsule piece I should say. And what I'm going to do is take some foam and I'm going to glue it in to give it a base. And then I have a bunch of random plant pieces like this, and I have some vines somewhere, and I'm just going to have them in the planter, hanging out of the planter, and then I will hang it on the wall. So with that, if you are using foam like me, E6000 tends to work the best for foam. I don't suggest hot glue, it tends to melt it. It doesn't take much, just enough to hold the piece in place. So I just barely put any in there and then press down really good. You're gonna have to give that some time to dry. But while it is, you can put glue on other pieces, and we're just gonna kind of fill in the space around to make it to where the plants, I don't have to fill it as much with plants. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will show you the finished product in a moment. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the foam in there, just a bunch of random pieces. I'm gonna let that dry, we'll set that aside, and we'll come back later and put in the plants. Next thing, I do have this pair of goggles. This actually came from another science kit. Actually, no, not a science kit. It came from just a Science Barbie. I think it was I Can Be. And I left the plastic on because that actually helps hold it to her head better. They don't fit quite as well as the ones that came with this set. But I found this. We're going to add this into the drawer for when I need them. What else did I find? Oh, I created this. Archaeology is a part of science. So I just took a wooden bead, I painted it, and gave it just a kind of design. I actually made it as a sort of Wonder Woman shield when I had, I don't know, I was just playing around with like Wonder Woman dolls, and so I did that. I'm going to hang this on the wall. Okay, next step that I'm going to add in is going to be this. This is just, I don't really know what you would call it. It's part of jewelry making. It's flat on the back. There's no hole, so it's not a bead. But I thought it looked a lot like amber. And I thought that would be really cool. She's into geology. She won an award in geology. And so I took this piece right here of wood, painted it a little darker, hot glued this piece onto it, and it just looks like she got an award. It's gonna go up on her shelf up there. So this is the shelf I put in. I added the plant that was originally on the other shelf and put it up here. Her award's gonna go there. Thank you to Real Bobby for giving me the suggestion. I'm still thinking about potential other awards that I might be able to make and recreate and put up there. So the next thing that I found was this periodic table of elements. I want to put it on the wall above her chemistry station over here. So I'm going to trim off this. I did laminate it. This actually came from My Froggy Stuff. So if you go and look in her school stuff, you can also find this. It's one of her printables. But I'm going to trim it down, and then I'm going to glue it onto the wall where her chemistry station stands. So I think that would be the perfect place for it. Okay, next up, this one and this one are charms that my mother had sent me. And I'm going to remove the little hook that they use as charms, which I should just be able to unscrew like that. They look like little succulent plants, and I'm going to put them up on the shelf with the other ones. You may have noticed I'm kind of gluing a lot of things down, and the idea is eventually I will move this, and I don't want everything going flying off of it. It is going to go on display in my, this one I'll have to use pliers with, in my crafting shed later. But I'm going to add this onto a shelf. Actually, I think we'll put it here since it's small enough and it fits. Once I take this one off, it's going to just sit on the other shelf. And that way she now has plants on her shelf. So yeah. One thing I won't glue down, but I did find, was this very tiny piece of a geode that a friend of mine had given me. And I'm going to just add it to the shelf. I found, this was also from her, from my friend. She had quite the rock collection. But it just looks so pretty, and it's going to go on there too. I'm beginning to notice my scientist is more of a geologist than anything. This one I will glue down. It's just one of those really smooth stones. I almost think it was put through one of those little kids kits that you throw in random rocks and it polishes them up really good. I think that might have been that. But I'm going to take my E6000, I'm going to put some glue on it, and I'm going to add it to her shelf up on the wall. So we're going back to this. I don't know how well this is going to work, but I have some of this chocolate resin from one of the mini brands. I think I'm going to pour it in and make it look kind of like dirt. Let's see how all this goes. Alright guys, final update. This is it. I'm calling it with this. Like I said, there will be times where I will add little things because I have, like, let's see, a shelf right there, a shelf right there. I might add some stuff too. I have a little bit of a shelf up there. I am going to finish making the books when I get the time, and I will just add them in as I get them. But I love the scene and I want to show you. So here we go. Let's see what I got. All right. As I showed y'all before, the shelf is now up. It is slowly filling out, and I love all the little things that we have found. I'm pretty sure I've got more stuff. Every time I went looking for something, I found something else to add in. So I hope to fill in those two little nooks at a later date. I hung up the periodic tables, periodic table of elements chart. I hung that up by her station over here. I do plan on doing a head swap for this one. I love her head, but I want a made, or maybe not a made to move, but definitely a more jointed doll. So I'm looking through some dolls that my daughters no longer want, and I think I might have a match for her. So we'll see about that. I hung my skeleton from the Halloween decorations, and I think he looks perfect in the corner. All right, you're in my way. So we're gonna move her over. The desk, I have added just random stuff, a bunch of clutter, everything that I could think of. I even found this key that my mother had sent me. It's supposed to be a charm, or you know, something you can make jewelry with, but I thought it was perfect. It is the perfect little doll size key. It works very well for 1/6 scale. I found that crystal stone in my stuff. The drawers of the desk, I think all of them have something. There's masks and goggles. I put charts and like paper stuff in there. And this one, we have her notebook, and this one, we have more goggles and another notebook. We have our anatomy charts here. Real Bobby, you had an amazing suggestion for me. You told me that I should really think about making awards. So since geology seems to be a thing based on all the stones and rocks and things that are around, I made this one. This is my geology award, and I have it attached to the shelf with glue dots. And then this one, it just reminded me of like a Celtic knot of some sort, so she also got an archaeology award. I think I might have stuff to make other awards, and if I do, I'll show you guys later. So thank you for that suggestion, and yeah. This, my mom sent me a whole package of these little miniature pirate flags because she knows I'm absolutely crazy about pirate history. And I mean, come on, it just looks so cool. So I hung it on the wall above the shelf. We have the sort of Wonder Woman type shield that I made from a wooden bead that I painted, and I just glue dotted it up to there to the wall. It might fall down eventually, and maybe I'll try hot gluing it or something, but for now it's there. Like I said before, my doll is well traveled, and we're going to pretend that she has finally gotten off to England to visit around. I have a friend who lives in Hull who sent this to me, and if I ever get the chance, I'm looking forward to a visit with her over there. We have these charts. I have the map, and I have a sort of schematic, more steampunkish, but I think it works, right? Future ideas. We have over here some bookshelves with plants, a jar of possible formaldehyde. We also have some more rocks and the geode piece right here. My 3D printer, I still have not found a clock face for poor little Cogsworth, but I promise you I will find one. I know I have some in my collection. Oops. We're just gonna fall on the floor apparently. We'll have her leaning up against the desk. Yeah, that works. Okay. Up here, I've done up the shelves as much as I can do, at least for now. Like I said, eventually, as I go through my bins, I'm just finding more and more stuff, and I'm slowly filling it out. I still have not found the piece for that. I have not. I know I have it somewhere. And then there's more books that I still need to find covers for, but I'm going to get to that. I'm going to make the books. I'm going to make covers that go on them, since they were just 3D printed. But as you can see, the shelf definitely looks a lot fuller. So I'm happy about that. Now, here's the part that I had not shown you guys. I had to do off camera. I hung that poster, and honestly, if I could ever find this one or get it and hang it on my wall out in my crafting shed, I love it. I just love all of the different I guess symbols that they put to our various scientists around the world. So that goes above the supercomputer desk, and I managed to get it done. It was a little bit of a beast to put together. These are definitely not the strongest legs, so I have to be very gentle with that. But I can tuck her little chest that she got from her trip to Spain right there. And I have all 4 screens now fit perfectly on the desk. I have her with another anatomy chart, this time dealing with the skeletal structure, because she's currently on a call. I don't have a body for her yet. I do want her on a made-to-move body, or at least one that has fully jointed arms and knees, because I just love her face, I love her hair, and I want her to be one that I possibly use for future photo ops that I do. But for now, she's decked out. She's on a photo, or on a phone call, digital call, whatever you want to call it, right there. And yeah, that's my crew. She looks strange sitting like that. I'll do it like that. Okay. So there's the room. There's everything that I've put together. I really love how well it came out. I'm so excited about this one. And I've already got ideas for the next one. But I might have to take a break because this was quite the project for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked the process. I'll come back. I'll show you my head swap whenever I get hers done. And then as I make little things or as I find other things, maybe I'll give you an update later on. I know I need to do that for the grocery store as well. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for keeping up with this, and let me know what you think. Have a great day. Whoops, just kidding. Not done yet. I did forget a couple of things. One, these shelves are slightly, oops, I guess not. Well, they were attached by glue dots to hold them to the wall so that when I move it, they won't come off. But as I just found out, they're not exactly secure. I didn't glue them down just in the off chance that I ever decided to take this thing apart. However, I'm kind of thinking that's never going to happen. And then also on this side, the one thing that I did not get to finish and show you guys because the resin is taking forever is the planter that I was showing you that I'm going to put plants in, and it's going to be on this wall. It just would not cure fast enough. I don't have the light for that, the little UV light, so right now it's curing in the sun. But that was it. Those were the two things I really have been meaning to say, just to give you guys ideas for future. Putting those on, but not wanting them permanent, glue dots. They tend to work really well. I'm currently using semi-permanent ones. It says permanent, it's the farthest thing from it. You can easily peel them off, so there's that. Okay, now I'm going. Bye, guys.